Hello, good morning, everyone. Hello, we're here. Happy Tuesday. I'm just going to take a second to put the link to the live everywhere. Go ahead, hi in the chat. Tell me how you're feeling today. I hope everyone is having a lovely Tuesday. Hopefully you enjoyed some of that rain that we got yesterday. Looks like we might be getting some more today. At least that's what the internet told me. It certainly does not look like rain this morning. Hey, Gunica. Hey, Danielle. Hi, Jacqueline. Nice to see you all this morning. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hey, Mrs. Garcia. Hey, Marissa. Yeah, it's one of those weird days where it says it's going to rain, but when I look outside, it doesn't look like rain. That looks like a beautiful sunny day. Marissa, I'm doing well this morning. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling good. Feeling excited. I've pretty much already made it through all of my coffee. I have just like dredges here at the end. I'm gonna finish every last drop though, of course. Hey, good morning, Jesse. I saw your email about your college acceptance. That is so exciting. Congratulations. That's one of the things that we'll have to start doing in our AP class meetings is talking about our plans for next school year, if we're going to school, colleges anywhere. I'd be so excited to hear that and talk about that. Danielle woke up in a good mood. Open your windows. Nice. I love that. Yeah, I love having the natural light. I don't always like actually like opening up the windows because sometimes even though it looks nice, bright and sunny, it is cold out there, man. Hopefully y'all saw the email from the counselors. They sent out that email with all of the cute, sweet pet pictures, but they also sent out a question about what are you grateful for. So I'll go look for that email and have a response. I think it's fun to be able to think about those things that we're really grateful for during this time. So you're going to have to check their update email for next week to see what I am feeling grateful for. I talk about it sort of a lot on here. You might be able to guess. Yeah, I'm really excited for today for our, actually really for all of our classes. Sophomores, today we're officially starting our poetry bracket. Uh-oh. Yep. We got it here. Hold on, I might be having an issue. All right, maybe I'm back. I don't know if that was an interruption for you guys like it was for me. It said my connection was unstable. That's not great. Tell me in the chat if y'all are still here, just so I know that I'm not speaking into the void again. I am also, much like you, not immune to the Wi-Fi issues when we're all here. Okay, perfect. As long as y'all can still see me, that's good. So sophomores, I'm really excited for today. We're starting our Poetry Madness bracket. So like I printed one out. I'm gonna keep it on my wall so that I can keep track of what y'all are voting for. I'm really excited for it. Hey, Mom. I've already like sort of made my bracket of what I would choose, how I would make the bracket go. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to really have some of those conversations about the poems, the ones that we're liking, the ones that we think are really effective or really interesting. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And seniors, I'm excited to read your thesis statements and to see what we're thinking about and how we're reacting to those videos. So I think that's exciting. So speaking of poetry, I'm going to read our poem for today. And this one comes from poets.org, their Poem a Day series. So it is called Big with Dawn by Katie Condon. I'm just going to go ahead and start reading it because I think it's a fun one. Yesterday, me, a stone, the river, a bottle of Jack, the clouds with unusual speed crept by. A man was in the middle of me. I was humbled, not by him. The earth, with its unusual speed, went from dawn to dusk to dawn, just like that. The light, every shade of gold. Gold. I'm greedy for it. Light is my currency. I am big with dawn. So hot and so pregnant the fire I stole. By pregnant, I mean everything you see is of me. Daylight is my daughter. Dusk, my lover's post-pleasure face. And the night? Well, look up. Are you ever really alone? I just love that last line. Are you ever really alone? Especially when we're thinking about this idea of daylight and dusk and looking up into the sky. I just think that's such a beautiful image. And especially right now, when again, I keep sort of coming back to these ideas of nature and human connection. Those just seem really interesting to me right now. But thinking about this feeling of, even though of us are feeling really alone right now, when we are able to look up into the sky, we can see all of these ways that we are not really ever alone. And I think that that's a really lovely message for right now. So yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll spend some time reading some of the poems that we're going to be looking at in the sophomore class. There's some good ones. What do you guys think? Sophomores, would it be helpful to have me read those poems that you're studying? I know I always think it's really helpful to get to listen to a poem, not just to read it on the page. So if you think that would be helpful or fun, let me know, and I can do that. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about a book for today, and this is one that our AP seniors have been hearing a little bit about, as long as you're on track with your assignments. So if you were listening to or watching the video, the text that Mrs. Barber brought up that she was talking about was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Frankenstein is a great book. I mean, just amazing. It sort of feels like science fiction. I mean, it is science fiction, but in so many other ways, it is just like an amazing human story. And it deals with so many really complex issues of race and class and gender and creation and power. It's just really, really good. And it's actually a pretty easy read. I read it for the first time when I was a junior in high school on my own, right? Without studying it. And it's good. It's the only confusing part is that it starts out as a frame story. So it starts out with the story of this other guy, Mr. Walton, who just like is on a boat. And then he meets the creature, Frankenstein's monster, and is then told all of this story. And it comes back to Mr. Walton at the end. But once you sort of get past that section, it is super readable and super understandable. And I think if you know ahead of time that that's what's happening, it probably makes more sense. Like I said, when I first read it when I was your age, reading it on my own, I didn't know that that's how the story was structured. And so I found it a little confusing until I sort of got into the text and figured it out. So yeah, I really liked it. Oh, some of us have read it. That's awesome. Um, no, it is really quite good, quite interesting. So I want to read some of the story. Um, I lost whatever page I was going to read. Give me a second. I'm curious if any else of us have read it. I know Gunica and Jacqueline, you said he read it. Especially for our AP students, I'm curious if we've read it, thinking about it in the context of the lesson that we did. Thinking about character complexity, right? I think that this book is great for all those kinds of things that we're going to be talking about: character complexity, plot structure, setting. All of those things are really great in this text. Or I might not be able to get to my page. I'll keep working on it. I'll make sure that I can read some piece of it. But yeah, the text is really interesting for its themes, because we have these themes of like creation and what does it mean to create or be a creator, but also of monstrosity. Who is the monster here? In the passage that I thought I had sort of addresses that they will call it Frankenstein's monster. And more importantly, they call him the creature. But he, in a lot of ways, is more human than Dr. Frankenstein. He is, in many ways, kinder and more compassionate. So I found the passage. This is from early on in the book. It's not the very beginning. But it is Mr. Walton talking about this creature. So in this frame story, what happens is Mr. Walton is on a boat, and they see this person floating out at sea, and they rescue him. And it is the creature that Dr. Frankenstein had created. And we see all of this in letters that Mr. Walton is writing to his sister. So in one of these letters, he says, "My affection for my guest increases every day. He excites at once my admiration and my pity to an astonishing degree. How can I see so noble a creature destroyed by misery without feeling the most poignant grief? He is so gentle, yet so wise. His mind is so cultivated, and when he speaks, although his words are cold with the choicest art, they flow with rapidity and unparalleled eloquence. He is now much recovered from his illness and is continually on the deck, apparently watching for the sledge that preceded his own. Yet, although unhappy, he is not so utterly occupied by his own misery, but that he interests himself deeply in the projects of others. He has frequently conversed with me on mine, which I have communicated to him without disguise. He entered attentively into all of my arguments in favor of my eventual success, and into every minute detail of the measures I had taken to secure it. I was easily led by the sympathy which he evinced to use in the language of my heart, to give utterance to the burning ardor of my soul, and to say, with all the fervor that warmed me, how gladly I would sacrifice my fortune, my existence, my every hope to the furtherance of my enterprise. One man's life or death were but a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge which I sought, for the dominion I should acquire and transmit over the elemental foes of our race. As I spoke, a dark gloom spread over my listener's countenance. At first I perceived that he tried to suppress his emotion. He placed his hands before his eyes, and my voice quivered and failed me as I beheld tears trickle fast from between his fingers. A groan burst from his heaving breast. I paused. At length he spoke in broken accents. Unhappy man, do you share my madness? Have you drunk also of the intoxicating draught? Hear me, let me reveal my tale, and you will dash the cup from your lips. Such words, you may imagine, strongly excited my curiosity. I'm going to stop there. So we see the creature here from the beginning being so deeply human, so sensitive, generous, and empathetic, and wants to tell this story to Mr. Walton, and that essentially will become Frankenstein. Is that telling of his story, of how he came to be, and the struggles that he feels in his relationship with his creator, Dr. Frankenstein. So it's a really good book. It's a relatively short or easy read. Not the shortest nor the easiest, but it's totally doable to read on your own if you're interested in that book. So I really recommend that one if you get a chance to read it. So cool. What are our sort of final thoughts for today? Have any of us read Frankenstein? Do we like it? Any questions for me about, I don't know, school or life, on topic, off topic? What are we thinking today? Let me make sure I also put the name of the book in the chat. Jacqueline says, I really liked how they made it a frame story. Also makes us question the reliable part. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely have big questions in there about the reliability of the narrator. There's really a lot of like story within story, right? Because the story that we're being told happened to Victor Frankenstein and the creature. And then that was told to Mr. Walton. And now he is telling it in these letters. So there's a lot in there. Danielle, haven't read it, but you want to. Yeah, it's very good. Marissa, there is an audio version of the book. I just found it on Hoopla, which is like an app. You can get a bunch of it. I found it the ebook, but there was also an audiobook that you could choose to read. So yeah, absolutely. Jesse, you've been shamed for not reading it. I mean, it's really good. You would like it. Gunica loved the ending. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Marissa, certainly if you didn't have time to read it before we left school, Hoopla is a great option for that. It's an app. I think you can also get it online on the website, like the Hoopla website. But Hoopla is actually awesome. You just connect it with like your library account, either your SF public library account that you have through school, or even like your personal library account. Hoopla is cool because it has like videos, it has like movies and TV, they have music, and they have books, audiobooks, comics, ebooks. So it really does have a little bit of everything. So it's a great resource if you want to do that. I've been using it for the audiobooks mostly. One of the sort of bad habits I have when I'm at home is that I'm sort of always watching a screen, or I always have like a TV or a movie going on in the background while I'm doing something else. And now that we're doing all of our school online, it's just too hard on my eyes. So I've really started using Hoopla as a way to listen to audiobooks. So then I can still sort of listen to something as I'm doing something else, kind of going about about my day. But I don't also have to be staring at a screen for any longer than I need to. So I really recommend Frankenstein. That's one of the things I've been trying to do, especially since I don't have my normal book collection at home anyway. It's all in the classroom. I'm trying to use Hoopla to find some books that are in ebook and audiobook form, so that you're not having to like go out and purchase a bunch of stuff, that you can find stuff that's easy to access. So awesome. All right. So if we don't have anything else, I will go ahead and spend the next few days reading through the poems that we're reading in class for Honors 10. I think that'll be fun. And if there are any books that you want to know about, you want a recommendation for, let me know, and I will see what I can do for you. All right. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to head out for today. I will see you all later. Hopefully, you'll be able to come to our Google Meet classes today. And if not, I hope to see you bright and early again tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Always remember who you are, what you represent, and to share your Mustang pride. See you later.